So I really think I started awakening spiritually not long after I lost my father tragically when I was about 29 years old. And I was pretty lost. And I was looking for something that would make everything make sense to me. And that's when I discovered that I had the ability to channel healing. And so I studied that, and that was kind of my first dive into this kind of work, as I would channel healing through my hands to people and a lot to animals. I found that that was where my passion really was helping animals, and it seemed like they would find me as I progressed through my journey of learning how to be a hands-on channel or of healing. I would have a lot of animal, not clients, they didn't pay me, but they just seemed to present themselves to me, and I found a lot of joy in that. And then from there, as I was really wanting to learn about death and spirituality and what lies on the other side, I became a hospice volunteer. And that really deepened my spiritual awakening as I was helping and volunteering at hospice in many forms, but a lot of client care. And spending that time with people later in their life really opens you up and awakens you to a lot of things. And it was powerful work for me, and it really helped me find myself. Work in 3 different areas, and one of course is working with the dragons, and sometimes the dragons come in even on a regular reading, and if somebody's open-minded to working with the dragons, they tend to get very excited, so they'll step in. But I do dragon readings and I do dragon meditations so that you can meet your own dragon, and then I do the prenatal mediumship. And so if there is going to be a new baby in your life, coming into your life, that would be one of the sessions that you could book with me. And then in addition to that, just spiritual guidance sessions, which is just kind of a cross between life coaching and a psychic reading. And I don't just work with my own wisdom from my life, but I tap into the wisdom of my clients' guides and angels and anybody else that's over there supporting them, so that we can get some clarity on where they're headed. Because they have a few different services, it really depends on what kind of guidance somebody's looking for. I would say anybody that would really like some guidance around making the life they want to have come to fruition. Because when somebody comes to me, we can talk about what their dreams and their desires are, and then we can work together to get intuitive information from their guides and their angels and their dragons to help them along their path. And of course, anybody that's interested in dragons and thinks that would be something fun to learn about and maybe even meet your own dragon, as well as anybody that is thinking about having a baby, starting a family, or if you're expecting or adopting, I would love to work with anybody that wants to connect with the incoming soul of their child. Well, one of my favorite things that I provide is prenatal mediumship, and that happened when I was taking one of my psychic development classes. And I had been thinking for a while about being a death midwife and helping people with that transition. And somebody mentioned prenatal mediumship, and my whole body just started to tingle, and I just lit up. And that's when I started practicing that, and it's one of my favorite things that I do, because having that ability to talk to incoming souls when they're on their way to start their journey into their next life can be so powerful. And I love working with not just expecting parents, but also adoptive parents and parents that are thinking of or in the process of adopting. And it's just such a magical time, and to get to communicate with those incoming souls about what some of their life goals are, what they're coming here to learn, and even just fun things. I've gotten everything from I'd like my nursery to be neat and tidy to this is not going to be a hard labor because this is not my first rodeo, and the parents are always so receptive and so wonderful, and it's just something that I just absolutely love doing. And I think the hospice work kind of led into that because it's working at both gates. I love being a transition guide, and that's one of my favorite things. So my process is, it's actually pretty simple. I get very, very clear, and I ask the expecting parents, a few questions, not a lot, and then I just open up to any messages that come through. And usually, if the incoming soul is willing, we'll get some really great information. And it's so fun because often there'll be some validation there that things just kind of start to make sense. I had one a man that was coming in to be a man, said to me, I'm going to be in the medical field. And he was talking all about what he was going to be doing in the medical field. And at this point, I didn't know anything about the parents. The name had just come to me through a mutual acquaintance. And it turns out both mom and dad are in the medical field. And so they were very excited that baby was going to be following in their footsteps. So I met Landon about 3 years ago. And that is when, shortly thereafter, I found out that I'm a dragon master. And that's when I started working with the dragons. And I had been at a conference, and I was on my way back with one woman from dinner. And she said to me, yeah, I work with dragons. And I had never even thought about that concept. I didn't know that dragons were anything more than mythical beings. And as I kind of digested what she was saying, a little voice came to me and said, I'm Landon. And I knew immediately that that was my dragon, and that he had been waiting for me to meet him my entire life. And since then, I've been studying working with dragons. I have met so many more dragons. I've taken many, many people on a journey of meeting their own dragons, and they are a being that is just 100% pure love. And it is just so much fun for me when I can work with somebody that's interested in dragons. And the dragons can help you in so many different areas of your life. And learning about that and knowing that just makes life feel more downstream, because the dragons can help us get into the flow of how things are supposed to be, no matter what's going on in our lives. So dragons are an elemental being, and they have been around for all of time. And they were here when the earth was created. And the wonderful thing about dragons is they're here to help us heal the earth. And anytime we even just think about a dragon will be with us to help us, not just with our own lives, but if you're somebody that has a passion about helping the planet and helping humanity, the dragons are here to help us with that. And they can help us heal the land. And there's areas of the world that need more healing than others. There's anywhere that anything traumatic has happened, or even where they filmed a horror movie, believe it or not, the land can pick up very negative vibrations, and we can work with the dragons, and people can work with the dragons to help do that. In fact, last year I went to Africa and worked with the dragons to work on healing the land in Africa. Usually what happens is when people come to me and give me what their challenges are in their lives, then I can help them know which dragons to call upon in different areas in their land. And we definitely work with the dragons in healing what's called the ley lines in the land. And between us and the other elemental beings and the dragons, we can all work together to heal those lines that run through the earth and create more positive energy, so that the energy begins to flow better through the earth. I do, and my favorite one right now is the dragon workshop, which I have a couple times a year. And there's not one on the calendar right now, but you can always check back here for when those are popping up on our events page. And the dragon workshops are just so much fun because you get to learn more about the dragons. I have dragon oracle cards, and I pull dragon cards for everybody, and we tap into our own dragons, and we do some obstacle clearing so that we can have the dragons help us clear some obstacles in our lives. It's just a fun, wonderful, collaborative workshop. So you're going to find the different types of readings that I do, the 3 different types of readings that I do, and we can do a quick down and dirty reading for 15 minutes, and then there's also a 30-minute session and hour-long sessions available. So on my page will be my booking link and some more information about me, as well as when you do book a reading with me, how to come to the session, and just some other fun information about my life and how I might be able to help you. I had a repeat client come, and she's just trying to work geographically with where she's supposed to be and making some of the types of decisions in her life. And we really got some amazing information about where she should be headed and what types of things she should be looking for around finding her perfect job, as well as her love, because she'd like to bring somebody into her life, the love of her life. So we got some really good things for her to look for in her life, to know when she's supposed to be paying attention. So that's really, really fun. I wish that they walk away comforted knowing that they're not alone, that they have so much support on the other side that loves them as the beautiful human beings that they are, imperfect and perfect at the same time in every way, and getting some guidance on how to really open up, know that everything's going to be okay, but also walk away from our session with a little bit more clarity about where they're heading and some answers that they're looking for. I can actually feel like I can feel those of you that are going to be coming and meeting with me. I can feel your hearts. I can feel you. And I'm so excited to meet each and every one of you and be of service to you in the most open-hearted, pure way possible. And I can't wait. Yes, it's riseupandshine.com, and that's an N in the middle, Rise Up and Shine. The best place is right here in this wonderful website, where you can book a session or reach out to me. And you could also, we have a wonderful Facebook group called Manifesting with Purpose. And then I also have a Facebook group, Dragon Connection. And there's a beautiful picture of a woman with her dragon on the top of that, so you can look for that too on Facebook. And there's a link on this page so that you can go to the Facebook that way as well.